Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. This is Jim with Jim's Garage Toys, and today I'm going to be doing a video on my 2017 Corolla IM. I've been asked by quite a few different people to do kind of an overview on what I've done with the car since I've had it. I've owned it for 6 years now. I did buy it brand new, and I can never leave well enough alone, so of course I've done plenty of mods to it also. I haven't gone quite as crazy as I did with my 2009 that I turbocharged, but I've still done a fair amount to this car. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started, and I'll just kind of do a walk around and explain what I've done in the period that I've had the car. So any questions or comments that you have after the video on anything I've done, please feel free to holler. So I figure what I'll do is I'm just going to kind of walk around the outside. I'll cover some of the things I've done that way, under the hood, and the interior bits and pieces. And as I'm going around the outside, I'll also touch base on some of the things that you can't really see, suspension wise and chassis wise, things like that. So anyway, the first thing I did do, just like a lot of people nowadays, is I did do PPF on it. So the whole hood, the full front fenders, front bumper, and the rocker panels or side skirts are all done, as well as the door edges, door cups, rear bumper cover, kind of the traditional things. The side view mirrors were also done. But since then, I did add these carbon fiber covers to it, fake ones, but you know, I like the way they look just to give it a little bit of difference on the mirrors. So from when I got it brand new, I did that. I did the window tint. It's 25% in Washington State. Our minimum or maximum, I guess you could say, is 24%. So the guy you see has 25, and he put a 5% strip across the top of it there too. So I did do the side decal. That was not there. That was an option from Toyota, and I ordered that for my car from the dealer parts department. I also did a lip splitter kit, as you can see there, and it wraps around the front and the side. I'm not real big on the winglets that stick up here, so I liked this one because it was flat, and it was flat all the way down the sides. And I kind of like this because at the back it kind of flared out a little bit more. And then I've got the little winglet sections anyway that go around the back, and it's nice and clean. It's what I liked, and it worked out really well, so I'm pretty happy with that. So I also did a fog light kit. Originally it was just the eBay kit, but since then I picked up a rock through one of the LED lights. So I changed them out, and they're actually much better. OEM lights that I found, so they're pretty nice. They are white light. I also, in the headlights, I did a, let that truck pass there. UPS truck going by. I upgraded and did a lot brighter bulb. I was not happy with the halogen bulbs that came in this, and I did a lot of research at the time, and instead of putting a little cheapy bulb in, I did a lot higher grade bulb from GTR or something. I'll have to look it up. I'll put all the stuff I've done. I'll try to make sure I give a list of everything, so that if anybody's interested in something, then they can look into it. I did also add the well visors right here. So I'm trying to get an angle so you can see that. But I really like them because they don't stick out. They're pretty close right here, and they don't bubble out. And they were very reasonable. When I bought these, this was one of the first things I did, but when I bought them after I got the car, they were like $44 or something. And I liked them so much that when I bought my GR Corolla earlier this year, I found that they made them for the 12th gen Corolla too. And so I picked up a set for that. And they were still very reasonable. They'd gone up a little bit. They were like $55 or something. But I really like the effect because, like I said, they don't protrude out and stick out, and they come all the way down to this piece right here. So there's no gap there or anything. So, but love that. So wheels, tires, suspension. Tires, I'm actually still on my OEM tires, just the Toyo All Seasons. They're okay. I've had a set of winter tires that I used for this for quite a few seasons. I bought these, the current wheels I'm on. These are Inky TD5 wheels. They are 17 by 8 with a 35 offset. And I just thought they were cool looking. So a little bit more of a pain in the butt to clean, but they're, you know, especially like in the smaller ones. But I have some small little things that I can get in there and do a good job of cleaning it. So I also got a set of they're called MGP caliper covers. I ran into them at a Cars and Coffee quite a few years ago in Portland, and I saw a couple cars with them, and I really kind of liked how clean they were and stuff, and I hadn't found anything brake caliper wise that I liked, so I got some of those. And you can pick your color and design and what it says on it. So I just got these that say Corolla, and it's just a nice little pop of color in there. So, and here's the back one too. So for springs, I did lower it. It's not slammed. For those of you that have followed my channel for a while, you know I'm not a big fan of slamming a car. I want it to still handle well and ride okay. And when I'm driving in the mountains on the twisty roads, I don't want to be worried about scraping anything. So I lowered this initially on some Tanabe lowering springs. Wasn't a huge drop, but to me it was just about perfect for what I like. The ride is still very comfortable, and I've taken this on quite a few long road trips, and it's been a great road trip car. So moving around to the back, I added the OEM spoiler. I wasn't 100% sure if I liked this or not because I hadn't seen a car in person with it. And at the Portland Auto Show one year, I went ahead and they had the IM. I think it was the 2018 one, so I hadn't even had this a year, and they had one on the showroom floor there with that spoiler on it. And as soon as I saw it, I knew I had to have it. I loved it. So it came color matched from the dealer. It was fantastic. So the only evidence for the exhaust is it does have a DNA exhaust. It's a catback system, 2 1/4 inches, so it does breathe better. I'll talk about that a little bit more when I get to the engine under the hood and stuff. So but this is, that essentially covers the outside mods. So with the outside covered, let's go ahead and move under the hood. And the first most obvious thing that you will notice is that I hydro dipped my engine cover, and then after I had it hydro dipped in this kind of red mishmash, it just was kind of cool, I thought. I went ahead and painted in black the raised lettering on it. Did add a TRD oil cap to it, and I also did the same thing on the fuse box cover. So I added a DC Sports front strut brace, tighten up the front end. I did an oil catch can for it, and I've done that on most of my cars now, and it's done a good job on pretty much everything I've had in catching some of the crud, so it doesn't get recycled and gunk up the intake. So as far as power, this car came with 137 brake horsepower, and I wanted to I wasn't gonna turbocharge it like I did my '09 Corolla. I want to do something a little different. So I decided to see how much I could get out of an NA build. And so I added in a DC Sports cold air intake. This follows down behind the headlight here. It's the filter is kind of located right here behind the fog light, and it's pretty easy to get to. If I need to change it, normally I just drive it up on ramps and I loosen the cover underneath the corner there, and I can get to the filter to pop it off and clean it. So I did that. I also added, and this is going to be hard to see. Let me see if I can get some light down there for you. So it's kind of hard to see because of the angle, but I added a DC Sports ceramic header to the car, and I've always believed that just adding an intake or an exhaust is not gonna do much to a car. You really need to take care of all three phases. You need to get more air into the engine with the intake. You need to get more air out of the engine with the headers, and then with the exhaust, that helps scavenge that air out of the car, and go into the 2 1/4 inch DNA. So I did those three things to allow it to breathe a lot better. And in addition to that, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't sure what it was going to do, but I added a jet math to it, and I also added some quantum solenoids. Popped off the cover so you could see it a little better, but so here's the quantum solenoid there, and there's another one right behind it, right there. So this does have solenoids for the intake and the exhaust. There's been a lot of debate about what they do. Do they work? Do they not work? I spoke to a lot of people that had them before I decided to buy them, and I heard nothing but good comments from people that had them. And I was lucky because I was able to get onto a group buy, and so they really weren't that expensive. So it was worth a try. Now, I did not dyno this after every piece. I kind of did several of these things at the same time. I had the intake on, and I had the exhaust on, and I was getting ready to go on a road trip, and I was trying to get everything else done. So I got the quantum solenoids installed, I put on the jet math, and I got the headers done. And I went on a road trip, and it was 5,000-6,000 miles that I did. I was going through the Rockies. I was as high as 12,000 feet, and I had driven many of the same roads with this right after I got it. And it was pretty anemic at the higher altitudes, which most normally aspirated cars are. So I'm driving through the mountains this time after these modifications, and I could tell there was something different. It was definitely more. I mean, we always talk about the butt dyno, and there was something to be said for that, because it would pull, especially above about 3,500 RPM. If I got that into the 3,500 to 4,000, or I mean to 6,000 RPM range, man, it just pulled so hard. Even on the steep grades, it would hold the speed and actually accelerate. And I was thinking, I know this is putting out more power, but I wasn't sure how much more. So when I got home, I actually made an appointment with the guy that tuned my 2009 Corolla Turbo to find out what this was doing. And the benefits of all that extra breathing bumped the brake horsepower from 137 to 180. It was huge, and there was no tune on it. This was just the ECU compensating for a lot more air, adding more fuel, and giving me more power. But the beauty of it is over the course of the trip, I really didn't notice any negative side to the fuel mileage. And I still got excellent mileage, 35 to 40 miles a gallon. And still to this day, sometimes I have tanks that are even better than that. So that was amazing. And the car's not like my Corolla. I mean, that 50 extra horsepower is a huge difference, but it's still amazing from what it was anyway. So one of the last things under the hood, yes, I did the little dress up bolts. I've always kind of liked the way they look, give it a little bit of extra pizzazz there. And I also got this piece. So originally, the Corolla IM, you can see down through here and see the horn and some of those things. And I really liked this. My RAV4 came with one of these. And I saw somebody had ordered it, found it from a site in Japan. So I went ahead and ordered one too. And I really like how good it looks and how much cleaner it sets it up. And speaking of the horn, I did also upgrade this horn. I actually installed a Lexus horn on it. And so it was a lot deeper tone and than the stock one. So that was another thing that I've done. And I do believe, for the most part anyway, that is what I've done under the hood. So with that being said, let's move into the interior. Let's open this up and point out some of the changes inside. So I have one of these in most of my cars, a little stupid car tray. It's literally what they call it. But I really come to like it. And I put it in cars where I normally don't have anybody with me. And in most of my cars that I drive just for fun, that's what it is. So I put one in here for additional cup storage, knickknacks, hold my phone, whatnot, things like that. So I did add the 3D Max Spider floor mats in here, just like I have most of my other cars. Love them. Never found floor mats I liked more and fit better. I also added these little pieces right here. You might have seen these advertised before. It's just to prevent stuff from falling down between your seat and the center console, and you're digging down in there trying to find it. So I like how that helps prevent that. So I did add a TWM short shifter. Unfortunately, sad to say that company's not around anymore. There are some other brands that make it though. I also added, it's actually a Marizo shift knob from the GR Corolla. I had bought this before I bought my car, and mine already came with the upgraded shift knob, and I liked it a lot, so I put that one in here, and it matches just fine too. So maybe I have the first GR IM. So anyway, so I add, a lot of people ask me this on some of my other cars. My dash mat, it's a velour mat. So the brand is a dash mat, if this will focus on this. So if you can read that, dash mat. It's by Covercraft, and it's a great product. I love having them on my cars instead of just the plastic dash. It looks a lot nicer to me. Pretty standard back seat. Not much to see. I've only had people in my back seat a couple of times. So back here I have a sunshade and a club, just in case I'm in a sketchy neighborhood. Opening up the back hatch, I did add a cargo net to it. I'll pop this down. So, and I also added a rear upper strut brace from TB Performance Products. And if any of you have not heard of this guy, he makes excellent products, and they're very good quality. And I ended up cutting these out so that the bar, some people are leaving them, you know, out empty and you can see in there, but I want a little more finished look, so I cut those out. What I want to do, and I just haven't done it yet, is get a little bit of a rubber trim piece to kind of like a piece of molding that I can go around there and finish off that cut edge even more. So I did that on both sides. Roadside emergency kit. It actually works great with the bar because it can't roll around if I'm having fun in the twisties. One thing that I wanted to add real quick on the exterior is I did do just some universal mud flaps. Nothing crazy, they were pretty cheap, but just something to help protect the sides there. And of course, for a little extra horsepower, you always have to have a couple of stickers. So feel free to check out my Instagram page for more pictures, and of course my YouTube page is the same name, Jim's Garage Toys. And I would sure appreciate it if you would subscribe, like, and ring the bell so that you can see any of my future ones. So let's slide inside here. So currently I'm at 32,905 miles. I've had this car for 6 years now. A lot of you will comment and say, well, you don't drive it much. But I own 7 cars, so I drive my cars about 20,000 miles a year if you add up all of the mileage, and I don't commute with them. So I have a work truck. So that's not too bad. That's pretty much fun miles. So I did mention the short shifter and the gear shift knob from the other side. I still got the stock radio. I've been perfectly fine with it. I have my phone and a Garmin on road trips. I have a little simple clamp on magnetic phone holder, nothing crazy. I do have this gauge that shows me different parameters when I'm driving, and I will go ahead and let me start it here. So you can pull all kinds of different things up, but so that's handy. It's also a scan tool, so I can scan a code if I got it and clear the code. So once again, 32,905 for my mileage, and I have a old iPod with a bunch of music on it that I can just leave there. And then of course I can use Bluetooth for my phone and go from there too. So I do have a dash cam up here, so it's a Rexing. So good luck with that brand. And other than that, that's pretty much it. Oh, except for one last thing. Almost forgot. So here you can see the fog light button, and I was able to find one in blue to match the other light, so that's just an on off. The thing I like about this though is that it's independent. I don't have to, I can just have my parking lights on or nothing on, and I can still turn these on and off. One feature I love about this car too is the power folding mirrors. I wish that was on more cars. And oh yes, speakers. I did upgrade the front speakers, the tweeters and the woofers. So I'm not sure if some of you caught this, but you might have been wondering what this little toggle switch is for. So this is an electronic deer whistle that I installed on the car, and I did make a separate video when I did that. And for anybody that lives in areas that you have a lot of deer and the possibility of hitting a deer is high, you may want to look at installing one of these. They weren't very expensive at all. I think at the time when I bought mine, they were only about 20 bucks or so. But when you turn it on, that's so that is the pitch that it sends out, and the deer essentially are not as skittish. They kind of freeze when they hear it. So somebody's obviously gone to the trouble of figuring that out, and that's great. So I was told about it by an owner of a trucking company that after they installed them on all their trucks, their deer hits went down by 92%. So that's pretty dang good. So, and anyway, on the interior, last but not least, is I did change out the steering wheel to this carbon fiber one. So it's a carbon fiber along the top here and the bottom, and you basically move all this. I do have a video that I did on that too if you're interested. And then it's a perforated leather with the red stitching along the sides and stuff, so you kind of find your comfort on where you like to hold the wheel. So the last interior thing too is I did, it's gonna be real bright here. I put LED bulbs in all the interior lights. So, and that is it for the inside. So additional pieces, I have a TB Performance 4-point lower front chassis brace that helps tighten up the front, and it helps with any kind of wheel hop and stuff when you're getting on it hard. So, but that is my 2017 Corolla IM, and I hope that you guys enjoyed the tour. And if you have any questions for me about it, please holler. I do absolutely love this car. I love the looks of it. It's still to me one of the best looking hatchbacks on the market. I actually like the looks of it more than the standard 12th gen Corolla too. Now the GR Corolla takes it up to another level because of the wide body kit and the fender flares and all that. I mean, that just looks amazing. But it's great to have this one too, and it's been a fantastic car. So with that being said, before I say goodbye to you, I do have a little red stripe right there on the front too that I put in. So I noticed this one's starting to look faded, so I need to reapply that. But that is my Corolla. Please holler, ask any questions, and until next time, we'll see you down the road.